A fast-moving rumor lit up the internet, claiming Iran had struck the USS Gerald R somewhere in waters connected to the Middle East. The story moved quickly across social platforms, defense blogs, and video channels. Many viewers immediately wondered if a major military incident had just unfolded at sea. Early reports repeated the claim without verification. The situation looked dramatic on the surface. Yet within hours, official sources stated that no strike had occurred. The carrier continued routine operations. Flights from the deck continued. Escort ships remained in position. No damage reports appeared. Satellite observers saw nothing unusual. Naval tracking communities reported normal movement patterns. The claim still captured attention because the Gerald R. Ford represents the newest generation of American aircraft carriers. It is the lead ship of the Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier. The vessel was designed to replace aging fleets such as the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. The carrier runs on nuclear reactors. That means it can remain at sea for years without refueling. The ship functions as a mobile air base. Fighter aircraft launch from its deck daily. Surveillance planes monitor airspace far beyond the horizon. Helicopters support logistics and search missions. The flight deck operates almost continuously during deployments. To many analysts, the ship represents a long-term investment in maritime strategy. It is built to serve for decades. Technology inside the ship reflects that long timeline. The carrier uses an electromagnetic aircraft launch system rather than traditional steam catapults. This system launches aircraft more smoothly. It also allows quicker launch cycles. More aircraft can enter the air in less time. Radar systems aboard the vessel track multiple threats simultaneously. Advanced sensors improve awareness of the surrounding environment. Automation reduces workload for the crew. Fewer sailors are needed compared with older carriers. That efficiency lowers long-term operating costs. The ship was designed with maintenance improvements as well. Certain components are easier to replace during deployments. The result is more operational time at sea. Carriers like this rarely travel alone. The ship operates inside a carrier strike group. Destroyers form the outer defensive layer. Submarines quietly patrol beneath the surface. Logistics ships carry fuel and supplies. Together they form one of the most secure naval formations in the world. Radar coverage extends hundreds of miles outward. Fighter aircraft patrol the skies above the fleet. Missile defense systems stand ready on escort vessels. Electronic warfare systems can disrupt incoming threats. These overlapping defenses create a layered shield around the carrier. Because of this structure, penetrating the formation is extremely difficult. Military analysts study these formations carefully. The system evolved over decades of naval operations. Even so, modern navies never assume invulnerability. Potential adversaries continue developing weapons designed to challenge large ships. These include anti-ship missiles, drones, and fast attack craft. Some systems rely on speed. Others rely on numbers. Still others rely on stealth. Military planners call this asymmetric strategy. Smaller forces attempt to offset technological disadvantages. Such strategies shape naval planning worldwide. The rumor about the carrier emerged in this broader strategic environment. Claims circulated quickly online. Videos speculated about missile launches. Some commentators described the claim as a symbolic warning. Others suggested it reflected political messaging. Yet confirmation never appeared. Satellite imagery showed normal conditions around the fleet. Commercial ships continued moving through nearby waters. Aviation traffic patterns remained unchanged. No emergency alerts surfaced. Defense reporters checked multiple sources. The same message repeated. Operations continued normally. For viewers watching from home, the situation offered a lesson in how modern news spreads. Digital media accelerates every story. Information moves faster than verification. Early reports often rely on incomplete details. Online discussion can amplify uncertainty. Dramatic headlines attract clicks. Algorithms push the most engaging content. By the time facts catch up, the story has already traveled worldwide. Analysts often take a slower approach. They cross-check satellite data. They review maritime tracking signals. They speak with naval experts. They compare multiple intelligence sources. This process takes time. Yet it produces more reliable conclusions. In this case, the slower process pointed toward a simple reality. The carrier remained safe. Flights continued from the deck. Patrol ships maintained formation. Routine operations moved forward. The rumor gradually faded from serious defense discussions. Still, the story revealed how attention flows in the modern information environment. A single claim can dominate headlines for hours. Millions of viewers may see the story before verification arrives. That dynamic shapes how governments communicate. Strategic messaging now travels through both traditional and digital channels. Rival nations sometimes emphasize narratives that support their political goals. Those narratives can influence perception even without confirmation. Observers describe this competition as information warfare. It does not involve missiles or ships directly. Instead, it involves shaping how audiences interpret events. The Middle East has seen many such information contests over the years. Naval deployments often become part of that messaging environment. When a carrier arrives in a region, it signals attention and readiness. Allies view it as reassurance. Rivals may view it as pressure. Either way, the presence carries symbolic weight. That symbolism explains why rumors involving carriers spread quickly. These ships represent visible power. Cameras capture their size easily. Images of aircraft lined across the deck appear dramatic. Yet behind those images lies a complex system of logistics and planning. Sailors maintain engines deep inside the hull. Technicians monitor radar screens. Pilots train daily for launch procedures. Supply crews manage cargo transfers at sea. Every deployment requires thousands of coordinated tasks. The carrier itself is only one part of the system. Escort ships bring additional capabilities. Destroyers provide missile defense. Submarines gather intelligence quietly. Support vessels deliver food, spare parts, and fuel. Without that support network, the carrier could not operate effectively. Naval planners treat the entire formation as one unit. Each vessel contributes a specialized role. The strike group becomes a floating operational base. It can respond quickly to regional crises. Aircraft can reach distant locations within hours. Surveillance missions extend across wide areas. Rescue operations can begin immediately if needed. Governments rely on this flexibility during uncertain times. The rumor about a strike therefore touched on deeper questions about security and power. Yet the available evidence did not support the dramatic narrative. Instead, it highlighted the difference between rumor and verification. That difference matters not only for military observers but also for financial markets and global trade. Investors and analysts pay close attention to security developments in the Persian Gulf because the region plays a central role in global energy and shipping routes. Even unverified reports can briefly influence market sentiment. Oil traders monitor geopolitical headlines constantly. Shipping companies track security conditions in major waterways. Insurance providers evaluate risk levels for cargo vessels. A sudden rumor about naval conflict can raise questions about supply routes. Yet experienced market observers know that rumors appear frequently. The key is distinguishing signal from noise. Analysts look for real disruptions before adjusting forecasts. They examine port activity. They monitor shipping data. They review satellite imagery of maritime traffic. They also track diplomatic communication between governments. In the case of the Gerald R. Ford deployment, none of those indicators suggested escalation. Tanker traffic continued through regional sea lanes. Commercial aircraft maintained normal routes. Ports reported routine operations. Energy exports moved as scheduled. Markets gradually stabilized after the rumor passed. This pattern repeats often in international affairs. A dramatic headline sparks concern. Investors react cautiously. Analysts investigate the facts. Reality proves more stable than the initial narrative. Over time, the cycle becomes familiar. For viewers watching global news on video platforms, understanding this cycle helps place events in perspective. Military deployments rarely change overnight. Large naval operations follow long planning timelines. Crews train for months before deployment. Equipment undergoes extensive checks. Routes and support networks are carefully arranged. Once a strike group enters a region, it typically follows scheduled patrol patterns. Changes do occur, but they usually involve gradual adjustments rather than sudden surprises. The Gerald R. Ford itself represents a long-term commitment to maintaining that predictable presence. The ship was built with decades of service in mind. Engineers designed systems for reliability and efficiency. Maintenance procedures were improved compared with older carriers. Digital controls manage many onboard processes. Radar arrays provide broader situational awareness. The flight deck supports continuous operations during extended missions. These upgrades reflect evolving naval doctrine. Modern carriers must support both military readiness and strategic signaling. Presence alone can influence diplomatic calculations. A visible fleet demonstrates readiness without immediate conflict. Diplomats often work behind the scenes while ships remain on patrol. This balance between visibility and restraint defines much of modern maritime strategy. For countries relying on global trade routes, that balance matters deeply. Stability at sea supports predictable commerce. Shipping companies schedule voyages months in advance. Energy markets depend on steady supply chains. Insurance models rely on consistent risk assessments. Naval patrols help maintain that stability by discouraging disruptions. The Carrier Strike Group functions as a mobile security platform within this system. Its aircraft monitor wide areas of ocean. Its sensors detect unusual activity. Its crews coordinate with regional partners when necessary. This network of observation and presence reduces uncertainty in key waterways. When rumors about attacks appear, analysts therefore focus on whether shipping activity changes. In this case, it did not. Cargo vessels continued moving through the region. Port traffic remained steady. Energy exports continued flowing toward global markets. The absence of disruption told its own story. It suggested that the viral claim had little connection to operational reality. Yet the episode still provides insight into the modern media environment. Online audiences now receive geopolitical news almost instantly. Smartphones deliver updates faster than traditional broadcasts once could. Video creators often interpret events in real time. Some provide careful analysis. Others emphasize dramatic possibilities. Viewers must navigate this mix of information carefully. Reliable reporting usually relies on multiple confirmations. Independent verification strengthens credibility. Professional analysts often wait for clear evidence before drawing conclusions. That patience sometimes feels slower than the pace of social media. Yet it remains essential for understanding complex events. The rumor surrounding the Gerald R. Ford eventually faded as new stories appeared online. The ship itself continued its deployment. Aircraft continued training flights. Sailors maintained daily routines aboard the vessel. Engineers inspected propulsion systems. Logistics teams coordinated supply deliveries. Communication specialists monitored regional channels. These everyday activities rarely appear in headlines. Yet they represent the real rhythm of naval operations. Strategic stability often depends on quiet consistency rather than dramatic moments. For audiences following international news, that consistency forms the foundation of global security. The episode therefore offers a useful reminder. In modern geopolitics, narratives travel quickly. Verification travels more slowly. Understanding the difference helps viewers interpret the news with clarity. Carriers like the Gerald R. Ford remain symbols of national capability, but they are also practical tools of maritime strategy. Their missions revolve around deterrence, readiness, and presence. Those missions continue regardless of internet rumors. The ship remains part of a broader network of allied naval operations. Patrol patterns shift gradually as circumstances evolve. Training continues throughout each deployment. Crews rotate through demanding schedules. Maintenance teams ensure systems remain reliable. Flight crews rehearse launch procedures repeatedly. Every routine supports readiness for uncertain situations. Observers sometimes focus only on the dramatic possibilities of conflict. Yet much of military planning focuses on preventing conflict through credible presence. That approach has guided carrier operations for generations. The Gerald R. Ford represents the latest chapter in that long tradition. Its deployment reflects decades of investment in maritime infrastructure and technological development. The ship's presence signals commitment to maintaining open sea lanes and stable trade routes. For businesses, investors, and policymakers, those sea lanes remain vital arteries of the global economy. When rumors appear suggesting disruption, analysts look beyond the headlines to see whether the system itself has changed. In this instance, it had not. The fleet remained on patrol. Trade continued moving across oceans. Markets adjusted and moved forward.